Hello, you've reached Courtney with Ginger Knots. Today I want to show you a bit of a slower version of my moss stitch triangle scarf. That video is available on my YouTube as well, and it is probably for somebody who is a bit more experienced and works a little bit faster. So today my goal is to show you what this looks like for an absolute beginner. This is just a very small baby version of what that will look like if you're using the right size of yarn. So this pattern calls for a size 3, which is what this is, and it asks you to use whatever size hook this is. I should have looked at that first. J10 or a 6mm size hook. We're not going to use that for the video today because I really want you to be able to see the detail. So I'll be using a size 6 yarn. This is Lion Brand Wool Ease Thick and Quick, and I'm using a pea size hook just to make sure that I'm being very clear in my instructions. So we are going to start by tying a slip knot. So you're going to cross your yarn to make a circle, and then you're going to pull the long end through that circle to create that knot. Okay, now that we have that started on our hook, we want to look at how we hold our yarn. I like to go weaving in between my fingers here. That helps control the tension. That's very important when you are crocheting, to make sure your tension is consistent. It's not too big of a deal whether it's a little tight or a little loose. You just want it to be the same every time. So that's how I control it, is by putting it through my fingers here. Some people will wrap it around or through their pinky. Just depends on what you feel comfortable with. And then you'll use your thumb and middle finger to pinch the knot here. Your right hand, if you're right-handed like me, is doing all of the pulling of the yarn, and the left hand is the one that controls all the tension and controls your working yarn. So for this pattern, you're going to start by chaining 4. To chain, you're going to put the nose of your hook facing up, wrap it around the nose. As you pull it through, you're going to turn the nose down and pull that yarn through. So feel free to practice that as many times as you need till you'll feel comfortable. You can always pull out your work. So yarn over, turn the nose down, and pull it through. When you're new at it, it can be challenging to get that to slide through, so you can kind of pull downward on it, and it should come through very easily. As many of my crochet students have known, I am very comfortable pulling out work. I think that we all have to get a bit used to it in order to get comfortable. So please practice those chain stitches. It'll be important because you do chain throughout the whole pattern. If you're comfortable, from here, once we've got 4 chains on our hook, we're going to insert our hook into the starting chain to form a circle. Now you could do a magic circle, that's a whole other video, but I don't like a magic circle for this. I want to use chains. So insert your hook, leaving the nose down. You're going to put the yarn under the nose and pull that back through the loop. And then, so now you'll have 2 loops on your hook, and you're going to also pull that loop through what's already on there. So now you'll just have the one, and we have created a circle. So that's the circle we're going to start working into, and this will be our foundation row. The beginning of this pattern is absolutely the hardest part, so once you get past this beginning, you will be comfortable hopefully for the remainder of the pattern. So this row is the toughest. So we're going to chain 3 now. 1, 2, 3, and all of our working is going to be into this first circle. So we are going to alternate between single crochet and chain stitches for the remainder of the pattern. So first we're going to put a single crochet into this circle. So insert your hook. It's okay that the tail is in the way. We're just going to crochet right over it. You're going to put your yarn under your nose here, so I call that grab your buddy. Pull your buddy back through the circle and pull it up. Now you have 2 loops. Instead of pulling this one through here like we just did, we're going to yarn over again. So nose up, just like when we chained, turn that down and pull through both of those loops on your hook. So that is our first single crochet. So we've done 1 of those. We're going to chain, and then we're going to do another single crochet. So right in through that space, yarn over, pull up a loop, yarn over again, pull through those two. So right now you can't really tell, but that is our first side. Now we're going to work on the point. The point of every row is going to just be 2 chain stitches. So you're going to chain 1 and chain 2. Now we're going back into that same loop that we've been working in, so we'll do another single crochet right here and chain 1, and then 1 more single crochet into the same loop. This is creating our other side. We did 2 in the beginning, doing 2 in the other side, and then we're still going to chain 1, and at the end of the row we're going to do a double crochet. So that's a little bit more complicated. If you're not comfortable with double crochet yet, then I have a video that kind of walks you through that, but I'll do it here for you. So you're going to have your yarn ready and yarn over. So you're going to wrap that across your nose before you go through the circle. Grab your buddy the same way as you would normally do it, pull them back through, and now we've got 3 lines on our hook. Yarn over and pull through the first 2, and then yarn over again and pull through the second 2. So it's not a lot different. Feel free to practice that before you come back to this pattern, because this is a challenge to see where your stitches go from here on out. So I want to just make sure you're comfortable with the stitches before you start trying a pattern like this. But that was row 1. So now we're going to do row 2, and every single row after this is going to be exactly the same. So you're going to start every row by chaining 3. 1, 2, 3. Turn your work, and you're going to work a single crochet into each chain space. So right next to our double crochet that we just finished, we did a chain. So we can see that space is right there. It's very easy to accidentally skip that one, so make sure you put your very first single crochet right next to the double crochet you did in the last round. So we did a single crochet, we're going to chain 1, and then we're going to try to find the chain 1 space. That is a challenge, and many people have given up on this pattern because they can't find that space. So firstly, I would encourage you to stretch out the side. The way to tell the back side of a single crochet is to, this is silly, but look for the pants of the stitch. So there's going to be 2 lines for each single crochet stitch that come to a point. So that is our first single crochet stitch, and that is our second. So that means the chain is hiding right here. It is challenging to see because it doesn't spread out very much. So you're going to want to push the pants to the side. So there's 1 and there's 2. We're going to insert our hook right there and single crochet and then chain 1. Now we are to the point. So there's 2 single crochets, or 2 chains, I'm sorry, right here. So into that space every time, so we just chained 1, we're going to do a single crochet into it and then the point, so chain 2, and then 1 more single crochet into the space. So that's what makes our corner be pointy instead of flat like the sides are. It's the extra stitches that go right there. So after we've done that, we did our single crochet, chain 2, single crochet again. We're going to chain and then find our next chain 1 space. So there's the pants of the first stitch, pants of the second. Right there is our chain space. So insert your hook there and single crochet, chain 1, and now we're kind of at our end here. So that is where we chained up 3. Here's the pants of our last single crochet. So into that space, that gap where the chain 3 is, you're going to do another single crochet, chain 1, and double crochet into that same space. So that's how we increase the number of stitches. And that's how you can see it's starting to form a triangle already. So that's row 2. Here we go to row 3. We're going to chain 1, 2, 3, turn our work, single crochet into the first space, right there, chain 1, and we're going to single crochet, chain 1 all the way along till we get to our point. So single crochet, chain 1, next space, single crochet, chain 1, and now we are at our point. You can put in a stitch marker here if it's kind of a challenge for you to find. If you don't have stitch markers, you can just use a different colored piece of yarn so that you always know where the point is. So I'm going to work single crochet, chain 2, 1, 2, and I would put the piece of yarn right around here so that the next time we come to it, you can find it easily. Single crochet into the same space and chain 1, and then into each of the chain 1 spaces along. So as you can see, those single crochet numbers increase as we go along the number of rows, and that's what you want. Here's the ending space, so there's that chain 3, so we're going to single crochet, chain 1, and double crochet. So yarn over, insert into the space, grab your buddy, pull them back through, yarn over through 2, yarn over through 2, and on to row 4. I'm going to go ahead and do that for you, but this is going to be repetitive until you are done with the scarf. So the cool thing is this scarf can be as big as you want it to be, because you just can keep on going. So if you've got some remnant yarn, if you've worked on other projects and you have some leftovers, that's a really great way to use it up. Of course, you'll have a lot of ends. In my other video, the yarn I used, which I think is absolutely perfect for this, is Lion Brand Mandala in the color Genie. I think it's gorgeous. That's what I used. It's a beautiful size 3 yarn. Here's our point again. So single crochet, chain 2, and single crochet again into that space. This pattern is also written out on my blog, gingerknots.com. You can see all of the written instructions with photos if you want to find it there. You can also get the PDF ad-free on my Etsy. So we've single crocheted and chained 1 all along that side. Here's our chain 3 space. So again, it is single crochet, chain 1, and double crochet. So that's what this pattern looks like with big yarn. And you certainly could make it with big yarn, but it doesn't quite have the same level of drape as the smaller yarn does. Once it's nice and big, and you can find pictures of it on my Instagram, ginger.knots, you can see that it ends up being nice and holy, and it drapes really well. Thank you so much.